People ask why I'm so passionate about Honda. It all started 30 years ago when my mom trusted this exact 1987 Honda Accord to safely transport our family. Trust takes many years to earn, and through Bianchi Honda, I'm sharing my passion for Hondas with our community.
Bianchi Honda, trusted from the very beginning.
And still on the road today.
Welcome back and happy Thursday. That means Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show with Brad Rzyczycki. Coach, how was practice?
Always good. Do you pick the intro music? Because that was Jimi Hendrix and Purple Haze.
You know what?
I'm 44 years old. I don't know. Do you relate to that?
How about that? Were you listening on the way here?
I just heard, Jimi Hendrix.
All right, because this is why. I got a call at the beginning of this hour. This would be great for the Gannon website, by the way. I got a call at the beginning of this hour, and he goes, so you crack me up. Oh, that could mean a lot of things. And the guy says, earlier this week you were playing Aerosmith. And I thought, how does that kid know Aerosmith? And I'm thinking, who doesn't know Aerosmith? But anyways, then he goes, today you're playing, I think it was Black Sabbath. He goes, how do you know all this? I'm like,
old school,
on the way home I'm going to listen to Frank Sinatra, so what do you need to know? But anyways, I appreciate it.
It's a lot of genres you just mentioned in the last 20 seconds.
Well, what's your iPod, and then we'll get into what everybody wants to hear about.
I got a lot of Cougar going on. Normally during the season, I'm John Mellencamp, some Cougar going on, because he's got both slow it down, speed it up type of stuff. So I've been into that this season for some reason.
And then the players take over the DJing of practice.
Yeah, sometime.
Never heard this.
Yeah, the music's outdated me to this point right now.
All right. So you took on IUP this weekend. They're just a different animal, it seems. I don't know where they get their athletes from. Sometimes I think they're aliens. But it was a tough game. Although, that being said, there were a couple moments that go a little bit differently, and your team remains in this.
Yeah, I think for the first year, or the first time all season, I thought we came out and played flat in the first quarter of the game. We didn't seem to have enough juice to get the thing going. And I don't know that it was the atmosphere or the injuries and everything else. I don't want to make excuses because IUP is a really talented team. I said that last week when we went into this thing, so we knew we were going to have an uphill battle. But where they're really good, is their defensive tackles. I thought, they're going to be the best that we faced. They're really, really good inside. And that held us up. We were struggling getting some movement on those guys. And their quarterback, obviously, everyone knows, has been good for a long time and made some plays that extend drives. And the kid's just a really good football player. So they kept the ball away from us in the first half. We kicked off. They had a little bit of a longer drive. We went down. We fumbled the ball. They scored again. So it got away from us for a little bit where we faced some adversity in the first half. But, you got to give all the credit to them. They've done it to everybody to this point this year. But that's a really good football team. We came out the second half and battled, though, and that's where I was proud of my kids. So they came out and played hard.
I wondered, after Cal, it was a tough loss, and those two teams are kind of held to the same esteem, at least in my eyes. And I wondered if the effects of the Cal loss maybe lingered into this week, because they're thinking, man, we just gave it 100%. We were right there. We almost had that win. Now we have to go into IUP. That would be on my mind. But
we've been down that road before, though, this year. And then when you're going down and playing the number 2, 1, 4, whatever they were in the country, you expect your kids to be able to get up and go and get after that one. You could call it, it's a real competitive team. So I don't know why we came out from flat from that standpoint. But once we got it together, I can't give a crutch about, just coming off the week previous because they practiced so well during the course of the week. And they always practice well. So, it's a lesson learned. We learned some valuable things. I had some kids play through some really bad injuries on Saturdays, too, that showed a lot of toughness. Trayvon McNeil is a kid that really flashed on Saturday. Hasn't had a ton of playing time to this point, but he was all over the field as a true freshman, really making a lot of plays that, that we're really excited about that one in the future. So there were some kids that had to step up because of injuries that, we're really happy about from Saturday, even though we didn't win the ball game.
You've got some kids, too, that will return next year, that this is the third, fourth time that they're seeing these teams in Cal and IUP, and I would imagine that each time you play them, you want to beat them a little bit more. And you had some success against IUP, and I can't remember which season it was, but I seem to remember a pretty good game.
Well, we normally play a little bit better than we did on Saturday versus IUP, but yeah, we have some kids that, some of them don't understand how hard the PSAC West is. You got to line up every week, and it's going to be a battle from that standpoint. We don't play any teams you could just look on paper and say, oh, we're just going to walk through this one and move on to the next one. So I think my kids that haven't done this before I took some kids that weren't going to play in the game on Saturday just so they could see the atmosphere down there, see what the #1 team in the country looks like, how they go about their business, so they can see it. So as they grow in our program, they understand what that looks like and how big these games end up being. You know, the intensity of the game and all those things. So, my job is to make sure we're keeping them here, and we learn some valuable lessons on Saturday. But I give a lot of credit to IUP. They're a really good football team, and they're going to go far in the playoffs.
No doubt about it. You mentioned the playoffs. What is the best level? You've done it all. You've coached at, I don't know, have you coached at the high school level? Or
No.
Okay. Well, you've played at the high school level. You played at the college level. You coached at the college level. What's the best level of playoff football? Because we got Friday Night Lights. We got high school football starting up this week.
I think they all have their own little romance to them, for whatever you might say. High school football is really fun because the communities get behind those kids. They've known them, for 17 years. A lot of these kids that ends up seniors, that they've just grown up in these communities, and I think it's a really cool atmosphere when you get whole communities going to games, and how Prep does it here, and you get a large contingent going to all their games and down to Hershey and all that stuff. Obviously, with what we're doing now and the way Division II is set up, I love it because 7 teams in a region get in, and it gives you a variety of teams. When you're talking about 28 teams making the national playoffs, as opposed to what the Division I guys do. So they're all different. I think they're all unique. Division I obviously is a little bit more fan friendly now as opposed to where it was before, because you can get 4 teams in it. But Division II is really cool, man. They do a really good job, and there's some really good teams in each region that get in there.
When you look at the film of someone that you might be recruiting, is the film of the playoffs more valuable to you than the film throughout the regular season? And you got to remember, you get into communities in Delaware, Maryland, things like that, where the regular season games, you don't have to wait until the playoffs for the intensity to be ratcheted up. So with that in mind, does the film in the playoffs, is that more valuable, more akin to like the level of football you'll be playing at Gannon?
Well, sometimes. Jimmy Keefe played at St. Ed's over in Ohio, and I think holds the all-time leading record for yards thrown in a state championship game. That's a big deal. And that moment that he was in there and won the game, that anything we do at this point, it's not going to be overwhelming for him. So that getting in. So that kid at that position, that's pretty important too. But the other ones, it depends on where they're playing. There's some good football programs out there. You'd like to take a kid that's, it's been groomed pretty good throughout high school, because there's less that you have to do to get rid of bad habits when you get them. But no, we look at a variety of films that helps with the better schools, obviously, because you're getting more of a finished product.
Makes sense. But then you need to look for the gems that are hidden at schools that aren't seen as big pipelines into college football. So that's an interesting aspect of your job. I don't know how you do it. You probably have some good help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric Wolf's probably the best recruiting coordinator in the country. I mean, he's been with me since I became a head coach, and he's really done a really good job with it. And he's sending stuff over right now, and our guys have been in the recruiting process all through the season. He does a great job being organized. He's a person. He's a friendly person. He's just probably the perfect recruiting coordinator anyone can ask for, and he's done a great job for us.
Coach, these next 2 games will be very important. You've got Clarion and then Millersville. I want to ask you specifically about Clarion because I know you don't even know who they scheduled past your next game. But it's going to be important to leave a positive stamp on this season, and you absolutely have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and plus it's the last time our seniors are going to be on the field, and we owe it to them to go out and give our best effort. Our thing is we're trying to get healthy. I think we're going to get a little bit more healthy this Saturday. We'll see. Probably won't. Some of those guys we won't know until Friday. But hopefully we're more healthy than we've been. Clarion's a really good ball club, though. If you look at all their games, they've lost some really close ones to this point. And they've played these last teams that we've played close, talking about Cal, IUP, and Slippery Rock. So we'll have our hands full. They're really good defensively. They're sound. They don't do a ton of stunts and blitzes, but their kids are in the right spots, and I think they do a good job of teaching other people's offenses. Where we've made our money right now is finding weaknesses in defenses, and you can't find a ton in Clarions. And offensively, they're a bunch of RPOs, and they run the ball with a really good tailback right now. So we're going to have our hands full on Saturday. We're going to have to play well.
Cool to see your running back on Sports Illustrated, or in it, rather.
Yeah, that's the first time it's happened in my career.
That's
where
crazy.
his face is in the crowd. Give some credit to our SID. He does a great job of publicizing these kids and getting their name out there, because it's not always easy when you're at the Division II level. But Marcus has done it on the field, but we've had people put him in the Sports Illustrated and get him a lot of national pub right now. So Dan Telesky gets a lot of credit with that.
Great stuff. 12 noon on Saturday. It's Senior Day at McConnell Family Stadium, with the pregame festivities set to begin at 11:40. And again, 2 important games, really, as you look into next season, to leave a positive stamp on this year.
Yeah, you always want to finish strong, especially with a group that you're expecting to get back for the next couple of years. And you know, we're teaching valuable lessons still during the course of these games, but we need to win a close one, and we're going to try our best to go get one on Saturday and finish out strong on the road at Millersville.
Great stuff. Appreciate it, Coach, and good luck.
Thanks, Alex.